Get good gas mileage at a good price. But
Not to worry about us, we've already been caught.
have you seen any delicate sauce?
Delicious.
And can you answer our question?
Golden Valley, the only microwave.
Do you know?
Confucius say nuggets of wisdom are never as tasty as these.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. It was getting right near the holiday season. I got called in for a big supermarket chain as of all things, a father. Maybe in those days it might have even been a younger father. But anyway, a father. And just to let you know, there's few times that I played a father for whatever reason. Okay. Maybe I just don't look like your daddy or something. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't get that many calls, but I went in. It was for, they were going to have this shoot inside of one of the supermarkets. So I walk in, and they bring you in categories a lot of times. So one category was finishing. I was the first one that they were going to audition in my particular category. And it was the tail end of the previous category was in there finishing auditioning. And that category was Santa Claus. And I walked in and I saw all of these, very famous looking geezers, right? And some are in Santa Claus suits and some aren't, and some have white beards and some don't or whatever. And you'd think they would be working on their lines. There was lines. They weren't working on their lines at all. They were old timers. And old timers will tell you, the truth is that anybody in this room can do it. He can do it better than me. I could probably do it better than him. But, in the end, it won't make any sense to anybody who they cast anyway. So that's not a bad attitude. It's actually more of a realistic attitude. What are these grandpas, right? I mean, every grandpa looking, very recognizable actors because they were older. They'd done a lot of stuff on TV. What are they doing? Are they disciplining themselves as an actor and preparing to audition? No, what they're doing is they're all showing each other pictures of like their grandchildren and stuff, and saying things like, it's good to see you. Well, it's good to be seen, and they're looking at their pictures showing their grandchildren and stuff. And part of the reason is they're good enough when they go in, they can work off of the lines on the cue cards just so smoothly that no one cares. Okay. But anyway, so that was the grandpas, and it was going to be interesting. Some of the very famous people that play Santa Claus on TV were right there, all this stuff. And some of them didn't wear a Santa Claus suit because they could care less about that. And actually, the person who actually got cast, who I'll talk about later, did not have a Santa Claus suit on. Okay, so they finished them, and I went in and I did my thing with, I believe it was talking to the daughter, and then my young daughter, and then talking. There's, Santa Claus comes up, and I'm surprised to see Santa Claus in the supermarket. Okay, this is a commercial. All right. So I got the call. Again, that was right away. I got the call. Are you available on such and such, starting, it was like midnight or some kind of thing or whatever, 2 a.m. We had to shoot in the supermarket when all the people weren't in there. So we had to shoot, like at midnight or at 2 a.m. or some kind of a thing like that because it's so disruptive with the lighting and the this and all that stuff. Yeah, I'll be there. Okay. So sure enough, we get the market to go to, and go to the market in the middle of the night, and show up and, oh, there's my daughter, cute young girl is my daughter, or some kind of a thing like that. And I see this guy who I recognized right away, and he got the Santa Claus. So I went over, and he had all of this makeup that he had to, get put on to be Santa Claus. So he was sitting there, and I ended up talking to him. I mean, what am I going to do in the supermarket? Walk around the aisles and memorize the labels, So, it was fine with him to talk. He was very personal. I wanted to compliment him on a show that he used to do. And it was actually a show called The Andy Griffith Show that I used to watch when I was a kid. And he had a running role of the town drunk, but in those days, in like the 50s, and it was done very innocently. But anyway, so I enjoyed talking to him, and I just want to let you know part of our discussion. So here we are in the middle of the night in the supermarket. And his name was Hal. He was getting his makeup put on him. So, he just had to sit there while they're doing all this stuff, making him into Santa Claus. And we just started talking. I told him how much I enjoyed, the Andy Griffith Show and stuff like that. I later worked with Ron Howard, okay? And that's a total pleasure, except, I don't think he wants you to call him Opie anymore. So, But anyway, so I'm talking with this man, Hal, and he told me that he didn't act, like regular TV movie acting or whatever anymore, because he was making so much shooting TV commercials. He was doing so many TV commercials. He really told me this, okay, that he basically just focuses on that, and he just does that now. And so I was commenting about his makeup, okay, all of this getting him, ready to be Santa Claus. And I mentioned, okay, there was a shoot that I did one time. And if there's enough interest, I'm going to get into other things later besides TV commercials. I'll get into TV or movies, but also some modeling stuff. I've done across the board all the different things that you can do as an actor. But anyway, I did this one job in which half my face was regular, so to speak, and the other half was kabuki. And they put all this makeup on half my face. Now, there was no such a thing as Photoshop then. I had to do it in, they had a glass thing, and they marked it, and I had to get my face exactly in there with both no kabuki and kabuki makeup to match it. I don't know if you believe me or not. You know what? If you're calling me a liar now, I hope you can see that. Half me, half kabuki. Modeling, print. Okay? Yeah? Right here? Yeah? All right. So anyway, I'm just kidding you. Okay, who would believe anything I said anyway? All right. So he topped me. He once worked where he got a job in a commercial where they painted, this is what he told me, the world on his face. And they extended it a little bit and made like a sort of that kind of a global kind of, thing they do sometimes, oblong kind of a thing. And he couldn't eat. Oh, how many hours was it? It was crazy. It was, I want to say 14 hours, but that might be exaggerating, but I think it was at least 11 or so, or 8 or 11. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. You got to sit there. You can't eat. And they gave him a straw to take some water in. It took all this time to paint, hand paint. All right, there's no Photoshop. Hand paint this whole world thing on his face or whatever. He said he made a fortune, in overtime doing this commercial. And he had to sit there all that time where they painted the world on his face, and then he came out and he did it, and that was a great commercial, and he made a ton of money on it, okay? So he ended up getting finished, for this no sweat Santa Claus thing, and we ended up meeting at the frozen food aisle or some kind of thing with my daughter, and here comes Santa Claus, and the little girl held up really well, even though it was late. So it was all a good shoot, all in good fun, and I really enjoy being with and working with old timers like him.